Hey, Naima Singletary here, spiritual business advisor to accomplished spiritually gifted women business owners who are committed to birthing their signature work in 2019, stepping into their power like never before and letting it get really good. And I am really on a mission to curate a network of melanin messengers. I call us melanin messengers. So today's topic is speaking from the blood, because the melanin messengers who I'm talking to are clear that the vehicle for delivering their message is through speaking and writing, speaking and or writing. And as I was preparing to come live here today, I was thinking about examples of speaking from the blood so you can be clear about what it is that I mean and why. One, it's critical in you birthing your signature work. Two, is where you stand out. It's like there's speakers all over the place. There's the Speakers Bureau, there's events going on all the time, there's speakers, right? We're not, at a lack of speakers around the world, but why would anybody listen to you? What sets you apart? How do you get your message across to the people that you're meant to get it across to? I mean, like the people who you're truly meant to serve, like where you're contractually meant to serve these people. And I want you to do your research on this so you can read it with your own eyes and know it is true from your own research. So we all know of the I Have a Dream speech, the Martin Luther King I Have a Dream speech, the final speech that he gave. And the story is, which you will find in your research, the story is he was all prepared. Dr. Martin Luther King was all prepared for this speech. He had written it out, he had practiced it, he had rehearsed it, he had been up and really did what we call due diligence to prepare for a speech, right? He did the responsible thing and preparing for a speech and being professional and getting ready and right? And as you'll find in your research, when you go and look at the what happened in the minutes leading up to him actually going live in front of hundreds of thousands of people, is that I think it was Mahalia Jackson. I could be wrong on that, but something, when I read it, I'm recalling Mahalia Jackson, and I could be wrong on that recollection. But Mahalia Jackson messaged him. She was behind him. Remember, he had the legions of people behind him. She was a part of the audience that was behind him, and she basically told him to speak from your heart, speak what you know. And he decided just moments before he was scheduled to go live to ditch his pre-planned speech that he had rehearsed, that he had structured, that he had gotten all organized for, and decided to speak what I call from the blood, right? Speaking from what you know, speaking from that which is so in you, it's in you, it vibrates off of you, it's in your heart, it's what you cry about, it's what you think about in the shower, it's in your skin, it's in you, it's like bleeding from you, and you are the only one who can speak it the way you would speak it because it's in you so organically, so naturally. And so when I talk about being a melanin messenger and speaking from your blood, I'm talking about speaking in this way. I'm talking about, fine, if you need an outline, have an outline, right? Like these are the 3 points that you want to make, or this is the one singular gigantic point that you want to make. And then once you have that part, let the rest go. And perhaps it could take you some time if you're not a naturally gifted speaker, because some of us just are, right? If you are born to speak, sometimes you are just gifted, right? And you get better with practice. But if you, find yourself particularly nervous and, find yourself, stuttering and, losing yourself, and then at the end feeling like you didn't get your message across, etc., because you're not present in your body and you're afraid of really allowing yourself to unleash in front of an audience, then perhaps you'll need to do more of the, get your bullet points, and then you do your sub points, and then you do your rehearsal, and then you do, right, all that. But what's really going to make a difference for you is having the audacity to drop down into what it is that you know, and really speaking from that DNA core blood space. And so what I want to encourage you to do is answer this question. This is your homework. Somebody asked me this, like, I want to say 7 years ago or something like that. And the messages, my answer has been sort of similar throughout the years. I mean, it's changed and modified, obviously, but it's always been, in the same vein. And the question that was asked of me is, Naima, if you were invited to speak in front of, it was either 1 million or 10 million. Naima, if you were invited to speak in front of 1 million people, to deliver a single message that you really believe needs to be delivered to these 1 million people, assuming that they're your people, right? And you were invited to come speak to them, and there was a single message. I mean, you could have 10 messages, right? But what would be the single message that you would want to deliver to this audience? What would it be? And when you think about, I mean, there's other ways to look at it, but this is the question I want you to answer as part of your homework from this video. If you were invited to speak in front of 1 million of the people who you know you're meant to communicate to and deliver a single message, what would the message be? Go there. Like, there's bullet points, and yes, you could flesh it out and, fill it in with story and fill it in with emotion and layer with some color and some imagery and all this and all that. But start with the singular message that you intend to communicate. What is the singular message that you intend to communicate? And then allow yourself to, before you start getting into all the external information to help communicate the story, what is it in you that's even compelling you to want to share this message in front of 1 million people? This is how you start to get down into the blood of it, versus being the same old speaker that someone else who has a similar message would go and do and, try to sound good and sound, like a good speaker. Why does the message matter to you? Why is it so important that with you having the opportunity to speak in front of 1 million people, that this is the message that you choose to communicate? Why is it so important? How do you feel about the message? How did you come to feel the way you feel about the message? What is it that you want the people to walk away with? How will you feel after delivering the message? I mean, this is how you get down into the soul of it, the blood of it, the why it matters, and how you then start to separate yourself in the marketplace amongst the legions and legions of other speakers. And it's also what helps to, take you from that heartbeat, right before you go on stage, right before in front of an audience, your heart starts to beat real fast and you're nervous, right? This is the thing that once you plant your feet on that stage, whether it's an actual stage or the stage of a video like this, when you're rooted down into the blood of the message, into the core, into the crux, into the soul of the message, then you get carried by a larger power versus trying to be like, well, what are my bullet points? And, how do I want to sound? And let me make sure I look professional, and being so self-absorbed and concerned about appearances. So any other vain things you need to do, get those out of the way. You guys know that I'm vain, and I've been talking about my eyebrows for the last week or so, and right? But anything you need to do on a shallow level, like your brows, your hair, nails, whatever, get that done. But when it comes time to deliver the meat of your content, get down into the blood of it. See, because then you can't be knocked. I mean, then you can handle opposition. Then you can really stand. You can stand in that strong way so that the message can come through you in the way that it's intended to, the way that it's meant to, the way that you're born to deliver, because you are born to deliver it. That's why it's in you. That's why you have it. That's why it runs through your veins. That's why it keeps you excited. That's why you get passionate. That's why if someone comes in opposition to it or, offends you in some kind of a way with a conversation or a situation that's in the vein of that message, you get stirred up because it's so in you. And so when it comes time for you to deliver that message, whether it's to a small crowd or a crowd of 1 million, get down into the blood of it. And you start doing that by answering the question that I shared with you earlier in this video. What is the single message that you would deliver if you were invited to speak in front of an audience of 1 million of your people? and give yourself the gift of quiet time to sit down, really think about that, answer the other questions that I asked you earlier in this video that form that answer, that help you come to some more clarity around what is the message that's in your blood to which you will speak from. Okay? That's your assignment. You guys know I'm here every weekday at 9 a.m. Pacific. Also, I sent out to my email list, which is being cleaned up, by the way, but I sent out a message yesterday saying that I put together 2 quick start packages for Q1. So for Q1 2019, for those of you who are Melanin messengers who are really dedicated to stepping up and you're making some big decisions. You know, this last week, I know it's been quiet with, you know, Christmas and then New Year's Eve, but I have been having so many conversations with women who have been quietly making decisions, quietly planning, and like making these declarations for 2019 about things they're letting go of, things that they're declaring, things that they're, you know, new habits, etc. And so I put together 2 quick start packages. One is a 30-day, one is a 90-day. And it's to get you, make sure you're in the right actions, in the right habits, and in the right mindset and being so that you will reach your goals for 2019. But let's focus on Q1. Let's focus on Q1. We have this whole year. Let's chunk it down. What is it that you're looking to create? Who is it that you're looking to become? What guidance do you deserve and do you require? So that, dear God, by Christmas of this year, dear God, that you are unrecognizable to yourself. Start with Q1. I have a 30-day package and a 90-day package to discuss, you know, where you are, how I can support you, which package is right for you. Shoot me an email, okay? 30 days, 90 days, and we'll get into the details of what's going on in your world. So it's a joy to be here. It is such a joy, and I look forward to reconnecting with you tomorrow, same time, same place. Bye.